Welcome, everybody, to the Dreamers Podcast. I'm your host, Super Joe Pardo, and it's been a little while since I've done an episode. This seems to keep happening. But meanwhile, I am doing other episodes of other shows, including the Business Podcast, or the Business Pies, the Business Geeks Podcast over at businessgeekspodcast.com with Sam and Jen, and that has been so much fun. We just recently moved from Tuesday nights to Monday nights at 8 o'clock Eastern, 8 p.m. Eastern time. So that, and I've been doing the IndiePod podcast still over at indiepodcon.com/listen. You can go and check those episodes out. It's been a load of fun. So there's just been so many things going on. The reason I haven't been making episodes is because I've run two, or about to run my second free live virtual conference this upcoming Saturday that I wanted to update everybody about, and go check it out. It's totally free. It's totally live. It's got over 20 speakers, and it's all for super entrepreneurs, probably like the person that's watching this right now. So I just wanted to come and talk about that a little bit. These virtual conferences have turned out to be a lot of fun for a lot of people, and I've been honored to be able to put them on for everybody. This one is only going to be 8 hours. 2 weekends ago, we did 19 hours for indie podcasters. You can go check that one out at indiepodcon.com/virtual. This one, you can go to superjoepardo.com/super, and you can watch it on Facebook. You can watch it on YouTube. You can join in the chat. You can get your video, or your comments from the Facebook chat and for the YouTube chat right up on screen here while you're watching live. Your reactions and your questions all being broadcasted out to the entirety of everybody watching. The virtual IndiePod conference went over so well. We had hundreds of people watching. At any given moment, there was at least 40 to 60 people at all times. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy. And we grew our group, which was my primary goal, was to grow the Facebook group to be more people. We went from 700 people to we're just at almost 1,200 people now, and we were having 4, 5, 6 people an hour join the group. It was kind of wild seeing that. So mission accomplished, I would say. So I also wanted to talk about some thoughts I had this morning. So I just got back from a run, as you can maybe tell from my running shirt and sweatshirt on, and my hair all messed up and everything. But I wanted to talk about the fact that this show has been going on for almost 6 years now. Started in May of 2014, and we have done so much, so many downloads, so many people, so many amazing people that have come into my life because of the show, and so much business that's come into my life because of the show. It's been incredible. Now, that's not till May 20th, so we have some time before that, and I will probably be doing some form of a live event for that online, just to celebrate and hopefully raise some money for charity like we do all the time. But one of the things I think is coming down the pike here with the show is I want to change the name. I know I've changed the name in the past. I changed it from the Dreamers Podcast Business Lessons from Those That Live Their Dreams to Business with Super Joe Pardo. Now it's back to Dreamers Podcast as of almost a year ago, I think. Dreamers Podcast with Super Joe Pardo. I think the time has come, and I really believe this because of the fact that all my other branding is Super Joe Pardo. So I think that it's time for the show, and I just took the glasses off as a classic Superman move or something. I think it's time for the show to have an adjustment to the name, and it just to be the Super Joe Pardo Show. I have some ideas of things I've been getting a lot of requests for people to come on the show, and I want to have them, but timing with scheduling is kind of difficult. And Yeah, I think that, and I also want to go back to making this a live show. Done like I used to do this back in what 2015, 2016, 2015, 2016. I was doing this pre-show with my boy Matt live every week on Facebook Live. And now with so many tools and the opportunities available, I want to go back to doing it live. But having guests in live and scheduling is sometimes a little hairy. So I think now I think I have an opportunity to do that. I think I'm in a place where I can start to schedule some of those. But I think that the guesting experience needs to be like I just have some like I know the questions I used to ask on the show, and I think some of them may stick around, but I kind of am thinking about shortening up the interview format to just like really just boiling it down to like 2 questions. So the show is not changing, just the name is going to change to fall in line with the fact that you go to @SuperJoePardo for Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, LinkedIn, Facebook, like all of that. So to me, like it just makes sense to just be like the show. The Super Joe Pardo Show, because everything is already in that Super Joe Pardo, that super branding, for sure. So I am absolutely pumped about the future. I want to do more production work too, like I said about 3-4 months ago at this point. But it's kind of hard with all the parks closed, and like there's only so much I can do, and it takes a lot of time to do those edits and things, and that's something I don't have a whole lot of time for right now. But yeah, I'm absolutely looking forward to all that. I want people to take away from this episode their thought process of like what is it right now that you feel like you can get out of this time stuck at home, right? So for me, and I might have said this in the last episode with where Ava and Dom joined me, but I want to take away the time. I want my takeaway to be the time that I got to spend with my kids and my wife, and as well as where I bolstered my business rather than sit down and not do anything and just sit on my hands and be like, oh well, the world's coming to an end, and I'm just gonna sit here, and like that's not the super way, right? That we got to find ways to either better ourselves, enjoy the time that we have with our kids, with our families that we are able to be with. If we're by ourselves, then maybe it's time to learn a new skill or go to achieve that certification that you've been putting off or something like that. I know, shout out to both to Imam, who was talking about this on Facebook just the other morning. But, these are the kinds of things that I want to remember this time for, and I don't know how long this time is going to continue to go for. I know I just heard that like Dallas, Texas is apparently social distancing until May 20th at least. I mean, here in Jersey we're till the end of April, so who knows? But being home, being with my family, that's I really wanted that to be a big takeaway from this. So not only are these virtual conferences, not only am I working on bolstering my business at this crazy time when a lot of people are not, and they're just kind of floundering for one reason or another. But I want you to really I want you to appreciate what you have. And hopefully we get to keep at least what we have here. And I want you to take the time to figure out what you can do to better yourself or better your business in the process. Whether that's marketing, just getting out there, letting people know that you're still around and you're going to continue to be around because you're not some fly by night, business or person that's like, oh, well, now I'm moving on to this thing. So do that. Find what it is, and then. And I want you to appreciate what it is, and finally, this this is crazy. This is just crazy. So hopefully this won't last too much longer, and this will be like a a memory long forgotten by many people in just a couple years from now, and instead of being something that like went on and became very devastating for a lot of people going forward. So anyway, I hope to see all of you on this Saturday, April 11th, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Eastern, over at superjoepardo.com/super. It would be awesome to have you all there. I'm really looking forward to it. We have some amazing speakers to both teach and inspire all of you along the way. I'm very honored to have so many people. And if you're interested in sponsoring it because you want to reach a bunch of entrepreneurs, then go to superjoepardo.com/super kit, KIT, and you can get the kit. You can reach out to me. I have sponsor packages available. I've made them as inexpensive as I possibly can to make this work. Well, I hope you all have an amazing day, weekend, and maybe a couple of weeks if you're just stuck at home. Hanging on for the best here. Stay home, stay safe, and I hope your family stays well as well.